Hello there, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Nguyen from Hanoi, presenting you today top stories as usual.
President presents state gifts to Haiphong people. UK pledges support on Vietnam's part to pursue a greener future. Damdan becomes national tourist site.
On the occasion of the Lunar New Year 2022, President Nguyen on January 26 led a delegation to visit and present state gifts to policy households, poor households, difficult workers and Agent Orange or dioxin victims in Haiphong City.
On behalf of leaders of the party and state, President Phuc sent the best New Year greetings to the authorities and people of Haiphong. The president emphasized that the party and state always pay attention to all policy households, the poor and those with difficult circumstances, ensuring that no one is left behind, especially during the Tet holiday. Praising achievements Haiphong had gained over the past year, particularly the control of COVID-19 pandemic and good economic growth, the state leader asked the state to continue focusing on socio-economic development and pay more attention to the welfare of the local people, especially disadvantaged groups. In addition to the gift from the president, Haiphong City also mobilized around $12 million to support policy households, among others, 10% higher than last year's Tet holiday.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on January 26 attended the inauguration of Le Bridge and Ha Long Cẩm Phả Coastal Road first phase in the northern province of Quảng Ninh.
The two important projects aim to ease traffic load on Bãi Cháy Bridge and expand the urban and tourism development space for Quảng Ning's economic and tourism hubs of Ha Long and Cẩm Phả. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Chính lauded Quảng Ning's effective efforts in developing infrastructure system, which contributes to attracting more investors to the province and speeding up its economic restructuring towards a faster and more sustainable direction, turning its economic development from brown to green. Also on January 26, Prime Minister Chính attended a ceremony to open Vân Đồn Móng Cái Expressway to traffic. This is the final session of the 200 kilometers Haiphong Ha Long Vân Đồn Móng Cái Expressway route that runs along the province.
Vietnam and the UK have substantial cooperation opportunities in the fulfillment of green growth targets. British Ambassador Gareth Ward has affirmed in a recent interview granted to the Vietnam news agency.
According to British Ambassador Gareth Ward, Vietnam is facing a slew of challenges like increased salinity levels and extreme weather events, and the very dynamic economy needs energy to continue its economic development. So against that background, it's a big challenge to get the climate policy right. The ambassador therefore said he's very impressed by the commitments set out by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính at the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference of the Parties, COP26 in Glasgow, the UK last November.
So we were extremely impressed, very impressed by the commitments set out by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính at Glasgow last year. First of all, the headline commitment to join 80 or 90% of countries globally who have now committed to net zero in 2050, and then more specifically to commit to a transition away from fossil fuels towards renewable energy, to protect forests, to reduce methane emissions. So there's a lot of work that we can do together.
He said the international community also increased its commitment to provide finance to developing countries such as Vietnam.
Now we want to work with Vietnam and other big donors and institutions like the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank and other partners to ensure that climate finance is flowing to Vietnam, particularly to the grid.
Regarding the Vietnam-UK strategic partnership in 2021, Ward said despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the relations had made a lot of progress in politics, security and economy. He highlighted the exchange of delegations in the year, notably the trip to the UK by Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính from October 31st to November 2nd, and the official visit to Vietnam by British Secretary of State for Defence Robert Ben Loban Wallace in July. The highlight of last year was the signing and implementation of the UK-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, which officially took effect from May 1st and is creating opportunities to businesses of both sides.
We know that last year trade increased about 16% compared to 2020, so that shows that the UK-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement is giving opportunities to businesses on both sides.
For the COVID-19 fight, the ambassador said Vietnam has done very well in speeding up its vaccination program, which has saved many lives.
Vietnam has successfully attracted donations of vaccines and has purchased vaccines from other countries, and now your vaccination rate is the same as or perhaps even higher than the UK. So that's an excellent achievement, and within ASEAN you're one of the leaders on the vaccination rate.
In addition, Vietnam has also modified procedures of tracking and tracing to make sure that it can be balanced against living with COVID-19. He suggested the country focus on supporting the economy recovery and getting children back to school in 2022. The UK will continue to support Vietnam in the pandemic combat and coordination in science and technology, especially in tracking new variants, the ambassador pledged.
Vietnam Airlines on January 25 conducted the first regular flight from London to Hanoi after a gap of almost 2 years caused by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Flight VN18 from London to Hanoi, which existed to Paris with nearly 300 passengers aboard, landed at Noi Bai International Airport on January 26 morning. The flight is included in the airline's plan to restore international flights starting from January the 1st, as approved by the government.
For those who are living abroad like me, it is very tough to have a chance to return to the homeland and enjoy the traditional Lunar New Year.
The government's policy on resuming international flights is timely and it served as a great source of encouragement for Vietnamese abroad who want to return home for Tết. From February 8th, the national flag carrier will operate one flight a week every Tuesday on the Hanoi-London route using wide-body Boeing 787 and Airbus A350 aircraft. The UK is the 9th international market to which Vietnam Airlines has resumed its regular flights following the US, Japan, the Republic of Korea and Singapore, among others.
China's Guangxi Authority has just reopened its Pu Zai border crossing, which connects with Vietnam through Tân Thanh border gate in the northern province of Lạng Sơn.
The Tân Thanh Pu Chai border gate acts as a major gateway for imports of fruit and agricultural products from Vietnam to enter China. The Pu Chai border gate was temporarily shut down by the Chinese side on December 18 as part of its strengthened measures to curb the spread of COVID-19. The Ministry of Industry and Trade of Vietnam described customs current resuming as a Pu Chai checkpoint as a positive and much-needed move by Guangxi ahead of the second meeting of the Working Group on Vietnam-China Trade Facilitations and the first meeting of a specialized committee set up to addressing congestion of goods at Vietnam's northern border gates with China. Thanks to concerted efforts from both sides, the number of cargo trucks standing in Lạng Sơn significantly dropped over the last several days. By 8 a.m. on January 24th, there had been 355 trucks lining up for clearance at border gates in Lạng Sơn, down nearly 4,000 from a month ago.
Vietnam's tuna exports to the U.S. has increased stably, accounting for 15% of the market share in this country.
The tuna export value to the U.S. in 2021 was estimated at about $330 million. The U.S. is now Vietnam's largest single tuna importer, making up over 44% of the Southeast Asian country's total tuna export value. According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, Vietnam's fresh and frozen tuna exports to the U.S. rose by 47%, while processed and canned tuna exports decreased by 15% over the same period. However, the U.S. remains the leading import market of Vietnam's frozen and processed tuna.
Damdan area in the northern province of Vĩnh Phúc has been recognized as a national tourist site under its just signed decision by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism.
Located about 60 kilometers from Hanoi and 40 kilometers from Nội Bài International Airport, Damdan has been well known as a special cultural and spiritual tourism site and resort area. It's a wonderful destination with fresh, pure and cool air and beautiful scenery. The weather is cool all year round with an average temperature of 20 to 22 degrees Celsius, and it may change 4 seasons in a day. The recognition on January 25th of the site is expected to create a chance for Vĩnh Phúc to further promote its tourism and attract more investment in the area, thus turning tourism into a spearhead economic sector.
As Hofu, or tiger head-shaped insignia, is believed to bring longevity and eternal life, as well as ward off evil. It is used as decoration in the archways of Hue royal palaces and tombs. Various kinds of Hofu were created by the skilled hands of ancient artisans. Join us as we take a look.
According to cultural researchers, Hofu originated from Sino-Indian culture. Indian legend has it that a Ranu monster had a body cut off after it tried to steal the Amrita, magic nectar that was said to bring immortality. However, its head, called Hofu in Vietnam, was dipped into the nectar and become immortal.
Rahu became a symbol of immortality. Hofu was then used in royal architecture and clothing to wish for eternal dynasties.
With Hofu lifting a fireball at Thái Hòa Palace and Hofu with 5 claws at Ngọ Môn Gate, it is easy to see images of the tiger head-shaped insignia inside the Hue Imperial Citadel.
Hofu appears on the roof of Nguyen tomb at Thái Hòa Palace. It represents longevity and eternity.
In Vietnam, Hofu was used in royal architecture in the Dinh and Lý dynasties, but looked more stylized under the Nguyen dynasty.
Hue artisans were so creative. In Hue royal architecture, Hofu was created as a variant of the lotus and daisy. This type of Hofu isn't seen in China, the republics of Korea or Thailand.
Hofu was an integral part of Hue royal architecture. It symbolized aspirations for the Vietnamese feudal dynasty to last for eternity.
Hanoi's tourism has seen positive signs after COVID-19 outbreaks have taken its toll on the sector for more than 2 years, as new products built in the recent past have given a boost to the domestic tourism market since late 2021.
With rosy prospects for socio-economic development this year, the Municipal Department of Tourism has built a plan for tourism recovery and development for the 2022 to 2023, with a focus on the domestic market. We pay heed to serving foreign holidaymakers in line with the roadmap to restart international tourism activities. Hanoi aims to welcome 9 to 10 million visitors, including 1.2 to 2 million foreigners in the period. To realize the targets, tour operators advise to strengthen linkages to promote unique tourism products of Hanoi and foster sport and healthcare tourism, as Vietnam is scheduled to host SEA Games 31 later this year. The Vietnam National Administration of Tourism said the city's tourism sector needs to grasp current trends as well as bolster no-touch tourism and pay attention to human resources training in this field.
And that's the end of our bulletin. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you again soon.